Tonight, you may sit beside someone you know and suddenly run out of things to say. The room will not actually change, nothing dangerous will enter it, but the silence may begin to feel almost physical. You may reach for your phone. You may laugh for no reason. You may ask a question you do not care about simply to make the empty space disappear. But the real answer is far stranger. Silence is not uncomfortable because nothing is happening. Silence is uncomfortable because your brain cannot tell what is happening. Human conversation looks effortless from the outside. Underneath, it is one of the most precise forms of coordination your species has ever evolved. Your brain predicts when another person will finish speaking before they reach the final word. It prepares your response while you are still listening. It watches facial expressions, tone of voice, eye contact, and tiny changes in posture all at once. How does it keep up? It does so by making predictions. Every conversation is a continuous stream of expectations. When another person pauses for only a fraction of a second longer than expected, your prediction fails. The uncertainty arrives before conscious thought does. You begin searching for an explanation. Are they angry? Are they judging you? Did you say something strange? Most of the time, none of those things are true. Research by Stephen Levinson and colleagues has shown that conversational turn-taking is astonishingly fast across many different cultures. The gap between speakers is often only a few hundred milliseconds. That is faster than most people could consciously decide to respond. Your brain is already preparing the next moment before the current one ends. So when the rhythm suddenly disappears, your prediction system keeps waiting for an event that never arrives. That is why silence feels active rather than empty. Your ancestors depended on reading other humans correctly. Missing a social signal could mean losing allies, status, or protection. Long before written language, survival depended on cooperation. The brain evolved to treat uncertain social situations as problems that needed solving immediately. What happens when there is no answer to solve? Your brain creates one. Psychologists call this predictive processing. Instead of passively observing the world, your brain constantly guesses what will happen next and compares reality against those guesses. When reality matches the prediction, everything feels smooth. When it does not, your attention snaps toward the mismatch. A pause in conversation becomes one of those mismatches. That is why a few seconds can feel much longer than they really are. Time itself seems to stretch because your prediction machinery has switched into high alert. The strange part is that the other person is often experiencing exactly the same thing. They may think they have made you uncomfortable. You may think you have made them uncomfortable. Both brains are trying to explain the same silence, each inventing stories that exist only inside the mind. How many awkward moments are shared illusions? This is one reason eye contact changes everything. Looking directly at another person's face provides a steady stream of information. Tiny movements around the eyes and mouth reassure your prediction system that nothing dangerous is happening. Looking away removes that information, allowing uncertainty to grow. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the absence of prediction. Modern technology quietly changes this rhythm. Notifications, typing indicators, read receipts, and voice messages constantly tell your brain that communication is progressing. Even the three little typing dots reduce uncertainty because they promise that something is about to happen. Remove those signals and your brain notices immediately. That is why waiting for a reply to an important message can feel surprisingly stressful. The same predictive system that once helped your ancestors survive around campfires now watches a glowing rectangle in your hand. Not every culture fears silence equally. In some places, comfortable pauses are signs of respect or thoughtful reflection rather than social failure. This reminds us that while the prediction machinery is universal, what it expects is shaped by experience. The silence itself is not the problem. Your expectations are. The next time a conversation stops unexpectedly, notice what happens inside your mind. Watch the explanations appear before you have evidence for any of them. Notice how quickly your brain tries to fill an empty space with a story. Then wait a little longer. Sometimes nothing is wrong. Sometimes another person is simply thinking. And sometimes the most uncomfortable silence in the room exists only inside two prediction machines trying to protect the people who carry them. Tonight, if you suddenly run out of things to say, remember that the silence did not become heavier.